We have to put a full bathroom group in here, a little toilet tucked underneath the eave.
Yeah.
We have to worry about a headroom with a beam.
Yeah.
Don't want to hit that. How about this?
Is that the real one?
This could be a spittoon, or it's actually our basin. Now, this is the smallest sink I've ever seen.
As you can see, the carpenter is actually fitting the door into the opening of the carcass frame.
So he's getting it absolutely perfectly fit in there.
Yes, it is. All taken off a little bit at a time.
Funding for this old house is provided by
State Farm Insurance, keeping our promise of protection with auto, home, life and health insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and by
Parks Corporation, makers of safe and simple, environmentally responsible stains and finishes that enrich, protect, and preserve the natural beauty of wood.
Hi, I'm Steve Thomas. We begin today's program on the historic Salisbury Plain in the southwest of England, where the hand of man has lain upon this land for over 6,000 years. The evidence? These massive stone circles, or henges, the most popular of which is Stonehenge, which is only about 20 miles to the south. Now at Stonehenge, there are so many visitors, and the site is so fragile, they really don't want you to get very close to the stones. But here at Avebury, completely different story. There's a road that goes right through the circle, as you can see, and you can go up and actually pat the stones. Now I'm standing on this massive handmade embankment, circular in form, and it's 1,000 feet from where I am to the other side. Now archaeologists believe that the bank itself was formed by excavating this ditch or moat, and they placed the earth in baskets and carried basketful after basketful up here and spilled it on the bank. Now if you search around a little bit, you find a lot of chalk here. And they also speculate that when these banks were first made, they were a brilliant white. It must have been really amazing, huh? Now they've also found some ancient tools. Deer antlers to use as picks, and oxen shoulder blades to use as scrapers. Now, the stones themselves. In the outer circle, there's evidence of some 98 stones, all sandstone, quarried locally. And they are massive. Some of them up to 60 tons. How did they get them here? How did they tip them upright? And what were they used for? There's a lot of theories, but nobody knows. What we do know is that the medieval Christians found them very menacing. And in fact, they went to great lengths to destroy them. Now, to many a 13th century Christian, the henge was the work of the devil. And with the full encouragement of the local church, a lot of these stones were buried in place. Others were heated by fire, cracked with cold water, and the fragments were hauled off to be used as local building material. Now this is the barber surgeon stone, so named because in 1938 they found beneath it a medieval skeleton. Now they think he was a barber or a surgeon because with the skeleton they found a pouch containing a surgical probe, some scissors, and some coins. Now they believe that he might have been participating in a stone felling, and the fellow just got unlucky and got beneath it. But the misfortune didn't end there, however. The skeleton was exhumed, taken off to London, placed in a laboratory for analysis. During World War II, that laboratory suffered a direct hit from a Nazi bomb. The barber surgeon was twice unlucky. Well, on that somber note, let's take leave of this old henge and head back to London to this old house.
Steve, I gotta tell you, that was one of the most tortured segues I've ever seen you do.
The devil made me do it, Norm. But is this what every well-dressed businessman is carrying around London instead of an attaché case?
Not really. This is one of several tiles that are going to become part of the roofing system in our patio. I'll show you how that goes together today.
So you think we've turned the corner on this one, Norm?
I think so. You know, and the best news is that the head designer at the Planning Council seems to be coming around to our revised mansard plan.
Well, our homeowner will be real happy to hear that. He's had a pretty rough time with it.
I'm sure they will.
I hear Truthui's on the site.
Richard is in town to get the plumbing in order.
Great, we got a lot to do. What are we doing sitting around reading the Sun?
Let's go.
Boy, place is hopping this morning. We got more wires, we got pipes, we got some plastering here in the guest's bedroom. Hey, Finn.
Morning.
What are you working on?
The job has asked for a glass partition with a curve in it.
Between the living room and the guest bedroom?
That's right, yeah. The manufacturer supplied me with these blocks so that I could set out and mark up a template.
So the idea is that you lay them out and these spaces get grouted?
That's right, they have a grouting through there, and then there's a bed on top. And then they use these clips here to mount a wire, which will run through, which gives it its extra strength, and they'll do that every second block.
So do these clips stay in, or do they get removed?
The spaces stay in, but these face parts come off,
So
they
you
just
won't
get
see
taken.
anything.
Yeah, they come away.
Now, I don't need to point out to you that these are transparent.
That's right. These are purely just for the site, so I can set them out. The supplied blocks will actually be opaque.
I see. All right. Very good. Thanks, Finn.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
Richard, I heard you were over here.
I'm having a lot of fun over here.
Busman's holiday.
Yeah, I got a couple of days to work here on the project with Stan the plumber. It's been really great.
So give me the story.
Well, it's a story about space.
Yeah?
I mean, this is our bathroom for this bedroom. Look at us. This is how big it is.
It's not big.
We have to put a full bathroom group in here, a little toilet tucked underneath the eave.
Yeah.
We have to worry about a headroom with a beam.
Yeah.
Don't want to hit that. How about this?
Is that the real one?
This could be a spittoon, or it's actually our basin. Now, this is the smallest thing I've ever seen, and they framed in an opening to kind of push it back a little bit more.
Sort of a little niche
Isn't
there.
that something? Now, I am standing also in our shower.
Well, it looks big enough.
Yeah, but in the shower, we need to have 4 body sprays.
Wait a minute, body sprays?
Body sprays and a shower valve.
Like a car wash?
That's right. And we have a shower door, so we have to worry about how to fit it here with this beam and everything. It's a tight space.
Well, show me these body sprays. I got to see this.
This is for the drive-through.
So these are one of the heads, and how many of these do you have?
Well, there'll be 4, 2 on each side, plus a shower head above it, but it gets better.
It gets better.
This is how we're going to bring the water on and off.
This is the dashboard.
Yes, this is the dashboard. You can pick your temperature and your volume, all with a touchpad.
You need a manual to take a shower.
Well, it's pretty easy. But this
And what's this?
Well, this, of course, is the little brain behind it.
So you've got some sort of gizmo here. You've got an electronic printed circuit board. You've got gears.
Yeah.
And are those drive belts?
Yeah, those will never fail, though. Not a problem.
Electrics
Isn't that
and
great?
water.
Only in Britain.
Okay.
Isn't that great?
All right.
Now, there's also a pressure story here.
Why?
No pressure.
I mean, no pressure in the city
No water
mains.
pressure. Because they're
the
so
pipes-
old, they can't turn up the pressure, so every bathroom group has to have its own booster pump.
Holy smoke.
So you'll have hot and cold water will come in.
Yeah.
When there's a flow of water from a faucet being open, these flow switches will come on and bring on the pump and pressurize the water to every bathroom group.
Now this looks expensive.
Well, this is all brass, so they tell me it's about $250 US, 250 US.
And is it prone to failure?
Well, it's a pump, so I mean they'll have to take precautions to be able to get in and change it once in a while.
Holy smoke. All right, what's next?
Well, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Come on. I want you to meet Stan, our plumber.
Hello, Stan.
Hello.
Hey, I love the electric blue overalls. Those are great.
I want to get a set before I get out of here.
Sure.
Your patch says Institute of Plumbing, registered plumber. Does that mean you're registered and licensed as well?
Registered plumber, yeah.
Not licensed.
No, not licensed, no.
So what's involved in getting registered?
It's right up to the Institute of Plumbing. It's a body set up to improve the standards of plumbing in this country. You fill in a form.
And that's it? No test?
No test, no.
Wow. And how about permits? Do you have to pull a permit for a job
No,
like this?
Permits.
No permits either?
permits,
That's
no.
a bit different, isn't it, Richard?
Seems quite different, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now I see you got a tube bender here.
Yeah.
In the States, that's what the electricians use.
No, we use them a fair bit for bending the larger size.
Why don't you show us how it works?
Sure.
And that's, what, a backing piece there?
Yeah, it's a slide.
Yeah.
It's a form that stops the tube from bending in.
Wow. That's quick. Does it weaken the pipe at all, Richard?
You know, some people say that when you have high-pressure water systems, but that's certainly not a problem over here.
Uh-huh.
You know?
And it saves a fitting.
So it's
Very nice
Isn't
to
it
bend.
sweet? Yeah.
Wow.
There's some other things
Terrific.
that are a little different I want to show you as well, Steve.
Thanks, Stan.
This looks like any other copper fitting.
Yeah.
You see it's got a little groove to it.
Yeah. And what's this inside?
There's a bead of solder in there, so it's pre-soldered.
So you don't have to manually apply the solder.
So once you apply flux and heat it up, it'll just put the right amount of solder into the connection.
Whoops.
Now we generally cut with a cutter like this, where we have to tighten it up.
Right.
Okay?
It's kind of tough in a tight space sometimes.
That's right. This is a beautiful little thing. It's got a blade.
It's got a little blade, like
Yeah.
a pizza pie slicer,
Yeah.
and some rollers.
Yeah, watch this.
Clip it in, turn the pipe, or the cutter.
And it's done.
Magic.
Isn't that great? Magic.
Fabulous.
This is going in my pocket before I get out of here.
Yeah. What else you got here, Richard?
We got a few others. One is we normally will clean up
the end of the
copper
pipe.
with an emery cloth.
Yeah.
They use a self-cleaning flux. So when I put that on,
So what's it got, acid or something in it?
it must. I heard it's really terrific when you get it in the cut in your hand. But you can see that'll leave it nice and clean, and they don't even. Okay. So that's different.
Yeah.
And then they also use a connection like this, like a Chinese finger, where you push
One
it.
of those things you put your fingers in, you
Yeah.
can't pull them out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So if you push that in,
It's
and that
plastic?
connection's made.
Now, would you seal this up in a wall? Would you trust it?
I'm not sure I would. Would you, Stan? Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm a little conservative, you know. Now let me give you a tour of what happens plumbing-wise here. Remember, all the water comes up into a storage tank, about 50 gallons.
Why?
Well, again, the water pressure is so low. This pipe, one pipe will carry water from the street at only about 20 pounds of pressure, which is not enough. It's about half of what we're used
So it
to.
must just dribble in there.
Yeah, sits
And
up
this
in
is
the tank.
really a holding tank.
That's right. Now, when there's a call for water in the house, by gravity, the water will come out through one of these pipes to the hot water tank. This is a tank that has a coil in it that we can create hot water. Okay. After it's heated, it comes back over here. Again to another pump.
Another pump.
Okay. So this pump will service this bathroom, and the other pump will do the other.
So that pump handles both hot and cold water.
Right. Pumps are everywhere.
Pumps are everywhere. Now, what about heating? How do you drive that?
Well, again, it's a space issue. This is our whole boiler is sitting right there up inside this broom closet. It's a cast iron wall-hung boiler.
That looks like an extremely efficient unit.
Yeah. They're
Gas-fired?
Yeah. It's you can see right there, they've run the copper line in for gas.
Wait a minute, copper for
Isn't that
gas?
something? Yeah.
We
There's
don't do that in the States,
there's
right?
no threaded steel, it's all copper.
We use black iron.
Yeah.
And they feel comfortable with that here?
Yeah, that's what they use.
Okay.
Okay,
else
and
you have?
we'll come out of here with our hot water, heated water to the pump, and it'll either go to heat up this tank, or it'll divert over here and go to our underfloor heating system that we've seen before.
Right. Okay. What about the master bathroom?
Let me show you.
Not a big master bedroom, is it?
I think like everything in this flat, the scale is a lot smaller, you know. We've had some good success here. Jim, the chippy, has got some sleepers down, and we're going to put our underfloor tubing in there.
Okay.
The tubing will continue into the bathroom here.
Radiant floor is a great idea for a bathroom,
It
isn't it?
really is. Now, this is where our Japanese bath is going to be. Okay, so they need to build a frame. It'll be lined with lead, and there'll be a drain installed. Because this Japanese bath is like a wooden hot tub, and it leaks a bit.
So that's the pan.
Right, this will be a pan. The tub will sit right inside of it.
Okay.
There'll be a toilet here,
Yeah.
and then just 2 basins or lavatories right here.
Well, small, but
Yeah.
efficient, I
Yeah.
think. Now, you'll stay on the job, Richard. You assure me, until all the pipes are
I
down?
love it over here. I'll stay as long as you need me.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Up here on the roof, our general contractor, David Booth.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, David. This deck up here really proved to be a bonus, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely, and an unforeseen one as well. If you remember earlier, we've been talking about how short a space we were on this project. And we found that we can use this space both for holding goods as they arrived, and also we're using it as a workshop area.
Yeah.
Plenty of space, it's great.
Brilliant.
Great.
Norm, have you sussed out the roof system?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Over the plywood deck will go this poly vapor barrier.
Any problem having a vapor barrier right next to wood?
Well, if there was no insulation, that moist air would come through and condensate, but because we're putting insulation, that's not going to happen. And this happens to be a poly isocyanurate, 2 inches thick, which is about a 14.4 R value. That gets fastened to the deck with some screws, and then over that goes this membrane.
This is sort of a, what, a vinyl or rubber or something?
This is a reinforced membrane which is designed to be used as a single layer.
Yeah.
It comes in a 1.1 meter width.
So a little over 3 feet.
Yeah. And on the 50 mil gap on edge on either side, it's overlapped between the next one. This is screwed down on the edge, and then the adjoining layer is overlapped that and is either chemically bonded or heat welded to it, depending on the conditions.
Now, it seems pretty tough, but I don't suppose you'd want people walking on it on a regular basis.
No, I don't think that. It would be suitable for that. But since they may want to walk on it, we're going to protect it with some paving slabs. But we can't put the paving slab directly onto the membrane because that would damage it as well. So we have this buffer mat, which is put down on top.
This is sort of a woolly stuff.
Yes, it's a man-made fibre.
Yeah. Well, this will get wet, so won't it mildew?
We're told not. The supplier has recommended this system, you know, for this particular use.
Okay.
And on top of that, we're going to put these squares, which are the same material as the membrane. And what they are really are spacers onto which the concrete patio block will sit.
So these are not fastened?
No. Just the weight of the block will hold it down.
So all the blocks abut each other. And are they grouted or sealed in any way?
No, you want to let the water run through.
Okay. Are you confident in this system?
Well, I actually think it's a good idea because the membrane and everything is going to be very well protected with these paving stones that we're using.
Good enough. Thank you, David. Norm, I see that you've unpacked some of these windows we airlifted over.
Yeah, you know, this was an interesting job because every single window was a custom window. And the manufacturer was able to make us the custom windows and give us the mutton layout that was satisfactory to the historic group. Now, this is a single pane window with a storm panel on the outside. This is pretty cost effective because in this climate you really don't need an insulated glass window. So this does a better job than single glazing at a lot less cost.
Good enough. Now, you had a pretty exciting day yesterday, I understand.
Yeah, I got to tour the factory where I actually saw parts of Carla and Jeremy's kitchen being made.
Terrific.
Well, Richard, where do you obtain the wood that you're going to use in your kitchens? For instance, this old house kitchen.
The timber will come from Yorkshire. It's a small forest, purely grown sycamore.
Can you show me some sycamore?
Yeah,
I've never seen it before.
It's here. You see, very light, white grain.
Now this comes rough cut right out of the mill and already dried to the right moisture content?
Yeah, between 8 and 12%.
Looks a little rough to me. What happens next?
Once it's been drawn off the rack, it comes around here. As you can see, the steward is there cutting it down to width.
Ripping it, then do they do some planing?
Well, yeah. We can't do any machining until we have square edges. So put over the planer, it's all squared.
Square edges and a nice finish on all four sides.
Let me go on right here. Well, the next stage in the operation is when the timber's been squared up, just cut to length.
So this is part of a job order, just roughly cut
this
the
is
size.
This is door framing here.
Door frames and maybe face frames for the cabinet.
Right.
All right, what happens next?
Well, then it comes over to the mortiser.
Okay.
This here. You can actually see it at the moment. It's a sycamore style frame.
The sycamore, what's it like to work with?
Very good. It's not a hard wood, it's not a soft wood.
Sort of like medium hard?
Yeah, it's okay. It does machine very well. You have to be very careful with it, because the grain can break out.
Okay. Now, how do you make the tenons that fit into those mortises?
That's the next operation over here.
Richard, this seems to be quite a machine.
Well, it is. It actually does the tenon, as you can see here.
That's what you're trying to make?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a block at the bottom, there's a block at the top. As you can see, one block goes one way, one block goes the other way. Okay.
So one cuts the top and one cuts the bottom. Wow. Can we see it go?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, that does a great job.
It's very good, very efficient, cuts well.
So now what's happening at this station?
This is the assembly of a door and all the component parts.
Is this one of ours?
Yes, it is.
Now what's this? This is the field of the door, but...
Yes, it's MDF with a sycamore veneer on top.
Oh, okay, and you use this, I expect, for stability?
It is, that's exactly why we use it.
Okay.
Right.
So he's putting it all together.
Yeah.
Oh, the inlay. Now, where do you get that?
Again, the inlay here is made specifically for us, to our specification. It's very expensive because of the complexities of making it.
It's all made up, and
Yeah.
he's just cutting individual pieces for our
right.
doors.
As
And
you can see here, he's actually assembling the door to make sure all the parts fit, they're square, there's no gaps. If there is any discrepancies, he'll take it apart again, put his tools on his bench.
just fine tunes it.
Yes.
Okay. Once he gets it to his satisfaction, where's it go?
We'll put it over here. He'll clamp it up.
All right, I don't see any glue though.
There is no glue. It's just a dry fit.
That's where it happens next, is the
Right,
gluing?
yeah.
So this is the door assembly station.
Yes, this is Don Jones. He makes every single one of our doors.
Really?
Yeah. You can see here he's sanding the doors. All the edges have to be sanded.
So there's no burrs or anything?
That's right.
Yeah.
You'll actually put it in this square jig.
Yeah, I see he's fastened a permanent jig that
It is.
doesn't have to have a metal square out.
No, that's okay. It holds it all square. Always in operation. You see, he's put the glue in the frame. He's going to mount the main field of the door now.
So you glue everything, it doesn't float, the panels don't float.
No, it doesn't. Because of the timber is so stable, the moisture content, which are very strict on here, we can actually glue them, which makes the door stronger, sturdier, and it doesn't twist.
Now you guys are really laying the glue on there.
Yes, it's to ensure the doors are strong, so it's impossible to fall apart.
Now, Richard, what kind of glue do you use on these?
It's PVA glue. We use it because it's very strong and it cures fast. Before he goes any further, he clamps it. This is where Don earns his money. He's doing a cross size. As long as he measures both sides and both exact measurements, he knows the door's square.
What's this gadget?
This gadget cures the glue. It's an RF cure, which is radio frequency.
What do they think of next?
Good. At this station, the door, once it's been glued up, will be put to the sander. It'll be measured to see how thick it is, a rough measurements.
Okay, so he can set his machine.
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
They'll be put through the sander, both sides, one pass. Now you can really see if there's any voids or anything needs to be filled.
Well, Richard, that feels nice and even at the joint, but it still feels a little rough to me.
That's okay, because that'll be done on the final sand.
Okay. Well, Richard, this looks like the place where the face frames finally meet up with the carcass.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Now, what are you making the carcass with?
This particular carcass is an oak veneered chipboard. The inlay range is an MDF with a maple veneer.
All screwed together.
Yes, it is. We actually use these panel screws, which are very strong. All the holes are pre-drilled. And as it goes in, it holds it very tight.
Right, it has no point on it, but it's really made specifically to use with these composites.
That's the sole purpose.
Okay. And what's this, one of the face frames?
It is, that is the face frame.
And how does that get attached to the carcass?
It's actually attached to the carcass using the biscuits.
We know all about biscuits.
Yeah, right.
Now what's happening here?
As you can see, the carpenter is actually fitting the door into the opening of the carcass frame.
So he's getting it absolutely perfectly fitted in there.
Yes, it is. All taken off a little bit at a time. All hand done.
Looks great. So this must be what you were telling him about earlier, the finished sanding.
Yes. Yeah, as you see, Andy here has taken off all the rough edges, taken off any scratches that might have been in the manufacturing process.
Perfectly
any pencil lines, just filling in any dents, any marks along here. Put a filler in, take it off.
So this is the last stage before the finish goes on.
It is. It's one of the most important stages as well. Unless the preparation is at the top notch, the finishing won't be any good. This is our spray booth. As you can see, there's a unit here all ready to be sprayed. It's all been, even all the metal hardware has been masked off.
Dusted.
Yeah, it's all dusted.
What kind of finish are you going to apply?
We use the water-based lacquer.
The water-based lacquer, do you like it?
Oh, it's great. The finish is as good, if not better, than normal lacquers. It's healthier for the guys here and it's healthier for the atmosphere. Fantastic.
Great. Now, Richard, do all the various pieces of hardware, like the knobs and the hinges, also come from Britain?
Yes, they do. We wouldn't have it any other way.
So they're all lined up here, ready for the final look.
All that remains is to put the company logo on.
Okay. Well, Richard, I really want to thank you for the tour you've given us today. And I can't wait to see these cabinets installed back at the flat.
It's been my pleasure.
By the way, can I buy you a spot of tea?
Yes.
Well, here's our homeowners. Hi, Carla.
Hi, Steve.
Jeremy.
Hey, Steve.
What kind of a week have you guys had?
Don't ask.
Bad? What happened?
Very bad.
Redefine bad. I suppose the highlight was Monday having our apartment broken into.
Oh, no.
And I was assaulted on Tuesday.
You're kidding. Are you okay?
I'm recovering, yeah.
And were you at home when the flat was broken
No,
into?
luckily we were out, so just belongings.
Thank God for small favors. I have some good news to report to you.
No, that would be novel.
It looks as if the Planning Commission is very close to approving our plan to cant that mansard roof back.
Right.
What that means is that with any luck, in a week and a half or so, we should be closed in and weather tight.
Yeah, we can only
With
hope.
any luck.
Good.
And I have some good news for you.
Yeah, what's that?
Yesterday I saw a kitchen being made with your name on it.
How does it look?
It looks beautiful. And next time we'll see it installed.
So until then, I'm Steve Thomas
And I'm Norm Abram.
for this old house. Now you got to see your shower controls.
Oh,
They're
they're
all
right.
computerized. Are you good with computers?
Right up there.
Yeah.
Balls.
I'll show you. It's the body shower. Sort of like a car wash.
Oh, I like it. I like it. The size is right.
Funding for this old house is provided by
State Farm Insurance. Keeping our promise of protection with auto, home, life and health insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
and by Parks Corporation, makers of safe and simple, environmentally responsible stains and finishes that enrich, protect, and preserve the natural beauty of wood.
This is PBS.
Steve Thomas's book, This Old House Kitchens, can be ordered by calling 1-800-441-3000. Fully illustrated with photos and drawings, this softcover reference presents every aspect of kitchen design and construction. The price is $24.95 plus handling. Please have your credit card ready. The book is also available in bookstores and libraries nationwide.